Britain will still be under EU jurisdiction until Brexit is fully completed, the UK's top judges have warned. Under the current withdrawal agreement, the UK Supreme Court will have to refer to the EU following a recent judgment. On Wednesday, the UK Supreme Court ruled that in any instance involving EU law, Britain will still have to refer to the European Court of Justice. Such is the decision. Martin Howe, QC, chairman of Lawyers for Britain, insisted the UK will continue to have interferences to sovereignty. He said, "It highlights that the UK will suffer continuing interferences to the sovereignty of our legal system for many years to come, from a court which is now entirely foreign, contains no UK judge, and has no duty to uphold the interests of the UK now we are not a member state." This judgment illustrates the vital need to modify the parts of the withdrawal agreement, which will require the UK to be bound by rulings of the ECJ after the transition period. The statement came after a ruling relating to a mistake on VAT charges. In the case, a company selling vitamins and minerals called Zipvit made a claim against Home Revenues and Customs after the Court of Justice of the European Union (CJEU) made a ruling that VAT should have been charged on supplies by Royal Mail. Therefore, under the ruling, Zipvit is entitled to recover part of the price paid to Royal Mail. HMRC has argued the EU directive should not have been used in this way. Deputy President of the Supreme Court, Lord Hodge, said there was still no established answer over the use of EU law going forward. He said, "This court has examined the case law of the Court of Justice of the European Union bearing on the issues in this case. By a unanimous decision, this court finds that this case law does not provide a clear answer to the issues posed by Z. It is common ground that, at this stage in the process of the United Kingdom's withdrawal from the European Union, in a case involving an issue of EU law which is not clear, this court is still obliged to refer that issue to the CJEU to obtain its advice on the point. Therefore, this court makes an order for a reference and sets out the questions for the CJEU to answer to enable this court to determine whether Zipvit's claim is correctly made or not." The UK and EU push forward with Brexit talks this week as representatives from both sides held negotiations via video link. Both sides have come under pressure to delay talks after the EU's chief negotiator, Michel Barnier, contracted coronavirus. M.a.d.n.ess has insisted there are no plans to change the timetable of. This week, a group of MEPs insisted the Brexit must be delayed due to the current coronavirus outbreak. European People's Party MEP, Christoph Hansen said, "Under these extraordinary circumstances, I cannot see how the UK government would choose to expose itself to the double whammy of the coronavirus and the exit from the EU single market, which will inevitably add to the disruption, deal or no deal. I can only hope that common sense and substance will prevail over ideology. An extension of the transition period is the only responsible thing to do." Despite pressure from the continent, an EU Commission statement insisted implementing the withdrawal agreement is essential. As it stands, the transition period ends on December 31, 2020. The deadline for the extension is on June 30, although